What's up, guys? Welcome to Teen Tech Daily. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CanaKit, that's C-A-N-A-Kit, Raspberry Pi 2 Starter Pack. Alright. So, this is the CanaKit. So you can kind of see it's actually very organized inside. So what we have here is a premium HDMI cable, a CanaKit power supply, and then we also have the Raspberry Pi case, which I guess is inside this box. It weighs nothing, so I'll be opening that in a second. It's like an unboxing within an unboxing. And then, of course, the reason for it all, the Raspberry Pi. You can see this is the Raspberry Pi 2. What I like is this is a genuine Raspberry Pi. CanaKit clearly hasn't done much to it. The only thing they've done is put a sticker on the back saying CanaKit. And that's one of the things I'm really happy about, because when companies take out and modify components and stuff, it can make it a little sketchier and harder to work with. So fortunately, this is just an Element 14, that's one of the manufacturers of the Raspberry Pi version, which is very good. And for those of you that are wondering, it's a Raspberry Pi 2 Model B. These are some heat sinks that you find in the box for the Raspberry Pi to help it run even faster by dissipating heat in a more efficient manner. And then I believe this is a USB wireless internet adapter. So these are inexpensive to get pretty much anywhere. But the fact that it was included is a very nice touch. You can see it's pretty compact. It's in this tiny box. And what that does is it allows you to essentially connect to the internet over wireless networks through the USB adapter. Some of the things that are useful in the box, you have a map of the GPIO pins and some general information. So that's on here. And then on the back of that, unfortunately, they're trying to sell you more stuff. I hate when companies do that, but, you know, it's not a bad thing because they're not actually trying to sell you specific items. They're just kind of saying what they have. And then another thing that I'm not sure if I'm going to use it much, but it could be very useful, is the Quick Start Guide. So this will probably give me the information about how to set up a Raspberry Pi and all that stuff. Fortunately, this is our fourth one that we have. So I already know how to set it up. But if there's basic information about starting the operating system, getting it installed, all of that, that's very good in my opinion. Another thing that was supposed to come with this, it's possibly already installed in the Raspberry Pi, hopefully it is an 8GB SD card, or micro SD, to boot up into a Raspberry Pi operating system. I believe it has Noobs, which is different than the Raspbian that I mentioned. So let's take a look at the case. So you can see this is actually a really substantial case. There's a nice Raspberry Pi logo cut out in the front. And then I'm assuming it opens up. So yeah, that's a really nice design right there. The entire inside of the case is actually labeled with the different components, where they go, etc. That could be really useful in a lot of situations. So I'm excited about that because most of the cases out there are really basic. But this is clearly one meant for a beginner with the Raspberry Pi, or just someone that wanted a slightly nicer case. And of course, now for the main event, the Raspberry Pi 2. So, here we have the Raspberry Pi 2. You can see it's inside the anti-static bags, as it should be, or anti-shock, because an electric shock could severely hurt the Raspberry Pi in many ways. Inside was also the micro SD card, with a little bit of information as to how it will appear as only 1 GB, but it is actually 8 GB. That's because of the operating system installed. And then we have From what I've seen online, this is actually a relatively sizable USB Wi-Fi card. A lot of them are very compact. This one, as you can see, is actually a little big, but, you know, it fits in the USB port, so that's all you really need. And then the heaviest component, a United States plug format, a power supply, 2.5 amps, 5-volt output. This is going to help with running the Raspberry Pi, since it does need power, and it also manage it properly without risking giving it too little or too much power, which we've had trouble with in the past. So, pretty exciting thus far. Let's go plug it into our TV and see if it works. Alright, so in front of me I have the three, now that the HDMI cable is there, components needed that we're going to hook up. So we have the Raspberry Pi in its nice case, we have the power supply, and we have the HDMI cable. We're using all the included components, including the SD card, to see if it works, and then that'll conclude this unboxing, and we'll put out a more detailed review about the Raspberry Pi itself and the CanaKit later on. So let me get setting that up. Alright, so we have the Raspberry Pi hooked up. You can see power coming from over there in a power strip connected to another power strip, which is actually connected to another power strip. I don't recommend that. However, the Raspberry Pi is on. One of the first things I noticed was you can't really see the indication lights through this case. That kind of sucks because I didn't know it was on until the HDMI switch over there. That's our JTech digital one. Turn to L2, which is the input we have it on, and boom. We have the beautiful operating system selection system there. Noobs, I was incorrect about. Actually, Noobs is the system where it lets you choose all the other operating systems that you want to put on. So you can see we have the choice to choose Raspbian, which is recommended, a data partition, or Raspbian boot to scratch. We'll be installing Raspbian. We don't have any keyboard or mouse connected right now though, so that concludes this unboxing, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you thought it sucked. Leave a comment below telling us about the CanaKit if you've had any experience with it, or what you want to know about it for our full review. And thanks for watching Team Tech Daily, and we'll see you hopefully here again on Friday with another video.